Whether big or small, mistakes can start adding up in your gameplay quickly. So today I'll be going over the top 4 most common mistakes you might be making in Apex Legends Season 11, so be sure to stick around. Hey, what's happening, Tribute Squad? Welcome your beautiful faces back to the channel, and today we're going over and adjusting the 4 most common mistakes that you guys voted on in the community post. So without further ado, let's jump into the first mistake, which is trying to get teammates banners while the enemies are still close but failing to do so. During these situations, it's always tough since you have to effectively engage, get the better of the exchange, then go for the banner. When the enemies know you are there for the banner, they won't let you just casually walk up, say hi, get the banner, and leave. They want you dead faster than they killed your teammate. So the best way to go about this is to make sure you stay on top of your health and armor while you close the distance on the banner. You can't afford to take too much damage in a situation like this since they'll push you right away. The next thing is being able to deal damage to multiple enemies before going in for the banner grab. The less players focused and shooting at you will increase your chances of surviving the getaway. So as soon as you think you did enough damage to multiple enemies while abusing cover, then go for the banner. Also be sure to save your tacticals when trying to make the escape. Let's take a look at a quick example. Hey guys, welcome to the first example where we are going to be touching on trying to get teammates banners while enemies are still close. And in this game, it is a trios game that I was partied up with Sweatband. And Sweat does unfortunately get completely wiped, so I do have to make a plan to get his banner. There is a full team down low on him after I take out a solo up above. And this example is not actually one where they completely camp and just sit on the banner. It's more of where enemies are local. You know, they have an option to shoot you if they see you trying to grab banner or whatnot. So I could have actually played this one of 2 ways. First being not shooting at all and just sneaking my way into the banner and leaving. But the second way is more beneficial if they're actually looking at you. So what I want to do in this situation is, number 1, heal up. You always have to pay attention to your health. That's why I'm selling up. And I noticed I have the high ground and they all have to take this rope up to get to me. So what I'm going to do is, obviously I do need to deal damage to multiple enemies. So I'm going to abuse my cover, deal as much damage as possible with limiting the amount of damage that I take. And once I find that opening that I thought I did a great amount of damage to multiple people, then I'm going to go ahead and drop down, go for the banner, because that's going to spare me a lot of time. No one's really going to be looking at me. They have to heal up, and that'll be a safe plan for the banner grab. Now, while going for Sweatband's banner, my teammate actually goes down as well, and this is a much tougher banner to grab because they have the high ground. So in a situation like this, sometimes it's just unavoidable. You just have to go on, go with the flow, leave the area. If they decide to chase, then you could possibly play your 1v3 if you know how to play it strategically, where you're playing a more passive-aggressive fight. And you guys are actually going to see that in here. They start to get very aggro on me, start needing me, sending shots from above. So I need to back up, heal, and then reposition. And as I'm rotating, I'm thinking to myself, are they going to run away from his banner or are they going to chase me? If they run away from his banner, I could potentially just make a rotation around them and grab it, but they decide to actually ape me. And I had the first enemy absolutely wide in the open. So, you know what? I was like, I'm taking this 1v3. Creating a 1v2 situation, get some decent damage off Valk. And that's going to spare me time to actually push up because the Valk has to heal. It's only one other person that's full health I have to worry about. So I get more aggressive, pop the ult.
It's dupes o'clock. You got bamboozled. 30 to ring close. Great.
End up closing the distance on the Voucher's 1 bullet, so I'm looking to clean her up. Managed to clean her up. Pathy's there, peeling for like 30 to 40 damage.
Go bamboozle. Throwing through my grenade.
And look at this. Playing cover behind a downed enemy works absolutely great right there. It wasted time for him to shoot all the bullets in the magazine, so by the time I peek, he's just about to have to reload, and that way I can get the shots off when he's wide in the open. So that worked out beautifully. Unfortunately, our teammate's banner did get timed out, so I wasn't able to grab him. But we were able to grab the first one, and it's actually 2 examples in one. You see an opportunity where I can grab the banner, and you also see an opportunity where I can't grab the banner just because of the way the enemies are playing. Sometimes it is unavoidable. So we talked about some ways on how to grab your teammate's banner if the enemy decides to camp it. Now let's jump into the next most common mistake, which is not knowing when to engage and disengage in a gunfight situation. This is all about having a push-pull playstyle where you get aggressive, get the better of the exchange, then back off and heal. It's almost like you're having a backwards fight, and if you do this consistently, this will keep the enemies guessing on your exact location. This is great for avoiding a lot of damage in a short period of time since you're constantly changing up your gunfight angles. By doing this, eventually you'll create a bigger better opening for yourself by getting a potential knock. Then it's up to you to decide when you want to fully commit to closing out the gunfight. But keeping this passive-aggressive playstyle takes time to learn and perfect, so don't give up on it right away. Let's take a look at another example to help clear things up. Hello beautiful people, we are jumping into the second example that I have for you guys today, which is covering not knowing when to engage and disengage in a gunfight situation. So in this clip, it is going to be a duos game with Sweatband. Now Sweatband unfortunately goes down the situation, but notice how I'm staying local. I'm staying local on the scene, that way they don't thirst sweat. And they can sort of pay attention to me, but at the same time, they can't because I am giving them little bites to eat. I'm peeking for a bit. Couldn't get the better of the exchange in a lot of these gunfights early on, but you're going to notice how the momentum shifts. But once I managed to recover, gain full health back, and find my angles, I ended up catching a Watson off guard. So after I get that first knock, I'm looking to take a bat immediately. As soon as I'm full health, guess what? I'm ready to engage again. So I'm going to get slightly more aggressive, seeing what kind of damage I can do. Tag him for 123, got the better of the exchange, and I'm looking to get even more aggressive, but notice he wasn't giving me any angles. You know, he was backing up, playing his game, he was doing a very good job, so I decided, you know what, let's get back to full health. I have another battery, I can use the same doors, so we did the same plan, but this time I'm not going to be as easy on him. I'm going to get way more aggressive and not let him breathe. Because last time I let him breathe, guess what? He did back off a bit and he had better angles than me. So when you put this much pressure on them, it forces them to fight it there on the spot, and that's exactly what happened, and was able to win the gunfight that way. So we just went over how to grab banners when enemies are near and learn to properly engage and disengage in a gunfight. Now let's move on to the next common mistake, which is letting teammates pressure you into making a bad play. Now this one was voted second highest in the post, so I'm sure a lot of you guys experienced this, and successfully avoiding this comes with more patience and playing your game. While yes, you definitely want to be a team player, but at the same time, when your teammates make a big mistake, you don't have to fall into their trap and die. Instead, look to create better gunfight angles by getting better positioning. This will help spare time to assess the situation and prepare you for the next moves on winning the squad fight from there on. Why try and rush a man-down squad fight when no one is weak? Again, look to be patient, stay local, and reapproach at a better angle or position. Let's take a look at a quick example. Hey, welcome back to another example, which we are going to be touching on how to avoid letting your teammates pressure you into making a bad play. And this is all about those situations where your teammate ends up trying to get into the fight first, goes down, and that sort of forces you to sort of push up faster, get more aggressive, try and finish the fight. And that's just not the case. When you try to do that, you're playing into the enemy's game, especially since they're going to be next to your teammate and you have to get to them. So when your teammate goes down, if you have the option, yes, it's a good team play to res them immediately, but most times it's not that easy. You're going to have to be playing your game, and you're going to see that exactly in this clip. So we're in construction building in a duos game. Me and Alpha are playing together, and Alpha ended up going down, and instead of me directly trying to assist them immediately, I'm going to play my game, and I want to try and clutch this up in a safer fashion. So as soon as Alpha actually goes down, one of the teams, I believe there was 2 teams on us, started to get very aggressive on me. But I noticed that one was actually chasing me. It was a Pathfinder, so I immediately turned around after abusing some cover and get a beautiful exchange on him. He's about 1 bullet here, but I noticed another one was taking the rope up to me. So the reason I didn't aggressively push his path is because I knew he was going to peek me. So I want to shoot and knock him at a better angle for me to fight his teammate, or a better chance of escaping his teammate after getting the knock. That's exactly what happens here. I knee slide away from him, still pushes me, so I was able to clean him up. Now I'm looking for his teammate. And the Watson's trying to get very aggressive on me, notice that, but I need to start topping off on my health. I have to pay attention to my health, make sure I can sell up when I have time, and then work the fight. So me and Watson are on the same floor here, and I go for a quick bamboozle where I jump off, grapple back to the same floor. She does not expect it, and managed to pretty much one-mag her from the back there. She was one shot. That was absolutely phenomenal. Now we're looking at Alpha's banner time. We have about 35 seconds on it, so it's still recoverable. We did clutch up the fight. And that's exactly what I mean by your teammate's good. You'll be able to get banner. We have the res beacon up top. Is this slightly more of a selfish playstyle? Yes and no, because if I rushed the clutch, I could have potentially died. They put up a really good fight, and I was playing my game. So imagine if I played their game, they probably would have won that. So I managed to grab banner, but it's not over yet. As you can tell, we do have another squad on us. So extending the gunfight may or may not be the best option because you will get third party. So I come up on a floor, see Path, you get a beautiful exchange on him. Notice how I get behind cover when I have to reload. As soon as I'm midway on that reload, I'm going to, again, re-peek, knee slide, and push. So that my reload's going to finish while I'm pushing him. and that's going to close the gap much quicker and have my gun ready to kill him. That's exactly what happened there. Managed to knock him, drop down because I knew his teammate was coming after me. I'm going to do a nice sneaky little grapple, get back to that same floor, and now I have the high ground. So I'm a little bit more relaxed now. Check the box for a shield swap, couldn't find anything. So I'm looking to sell up my only cell here and pray for the best. Now the Watson actually decides to push me, but gets hit by another Watson's fence, so that was huge for me. And I do need to close the distance as soon as possible and take advantage of the damage I just dealt. And that's a beautiful example of how you should play your game, not forcing yourself to die because your teammate died. Assist your down teammate as much as possible, but do not throw your life for trying to res them. Alright, beautiful people, we just touched on how to fix and improve 3 of the most common mistakes players make. Now it's finally time to get into the highest voted and most popular mistake, which is losing high ground because of a lack of patience. While this might not be prominent for your everyday Path, Valk, or Horizon mains, achieving high ground with other legends can be slightly more difficult. So losing it at times can put you in a pickle if you don't know what you're getting yourself into. So the first thing I want to touch on is learning new climbing routes for high ground. Most buildings are scalable with some good old-fashioned climbing, so be mindful to use unpredictable ways to achieve high ground if you lost it or obtaining it. Since most players would expect you to come from these stairs or zipline depending on the building style, using an inorganic route can save you from taking a lot of damage. The next thing to keep in mind when it comes to high ground and having patience is to deal plenty of damage or a possible knock before losing it. Jumping down from height definitely leaves you vulnerable for a few seconds, so be sure to at least deal some good prior damage before committing to losing high ground. Let's take a look at our final example. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, jumping into the final example I have for you guys today, which is a shorter one, but nevertheless still beneficial. And we're going to be touching on knowing when to lose high ground and having a little bit more patience. As we all know, high grounds is key in Apex Legends, and using unpredictable, scalable objects on the side of a building to get to high grounds is even better. But if you do have a mobility character, it is going to help you out slightly more, because if you do lose high grounds, you can easily access it again. When you're playing without a mobility character, losing high grounds could be a major mistake, and you need to know when it's okay to lose high grounds. So in this clip, we just came out of a squad fight, and noticed some other squads fighting in the adjacent building. Hit some decent damage on this player, and they knee slide off trying to escape me. This is a fantastic opportunity for me to lose high ground, even if I wasn't playing Valk, to drop on this player and clean her up. That's exactly what I do. I managed to not clean her up. She phased out. Lifeline comes through. This is what you need to understand, is when you do lose high ground, prepare for more enemies. You need to know what gun you're going to be using, what you can sort of abuse, cover, and play around. That's exactly what happened in this situation. This lifeline got very aggressive on me early on, and luckily I still had the massive out, so it was a close range fight. I have the better weapon choice for this fight. So again, if you are going to lose high ground, make sure your prior damage was making the person one shot, or you potentially got a knock and they fell from height if you want to drop down. And make sure your guns are reloaded too, or have the right guns out. You need to be prepared, because you still get that stun effect as well. I just want to thank you guys so much for spending a couple minutes every day with me. If you enjoyed the video, like rating is always appreciated. If you're new around here, be sure to subscribe, join the Champion Squad for some more awesome content. And I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. And as always, this was Sultan D. I'm signing off. Peace.